Hi, I'm Wes from Wacom, and I'm pleased to share with you some of the ways in which you can take advantage of Wacom pen tablets and Cintiq interactive pen displays to maximize your productivity in Adobe After Effects CS5. After Effects is Adobe's digital motion graphics and compositing application. Whether you're designing motion graphics, compositing a feature film, or anything in between, working with a Wacom pen is a smooth and natural experience, enabling you to completely focus on your work. The Wacom pen is the most natural of tools to use when creating artwork, giving you the precision, comfort, and advanced controls that you need to realize your creative vision. Proper setup of a Wacom pen tablet or interactive pen display can greatly increase your productivity. The side switches of the pen can be programmed to toggle between two shortcut keys, modifiers, or keystrokes. For example, if you're going to be painting with a clone stamp tool, program one of the switch functions as a modifier, Alt for Windows or Option for Mac. This puts the sample function in your hands, literally, instead of reaching for the keyboard every time you need to sample a new area. I've programmed the second switch to be my right click, so I can access all of the After Effects contextual menus. By adding these two functions to the pen, you now have an enormous productivity advantage. Compositing often requires control at the pixel level, and the Wacom pen gives you natural and precise pixel level control. When working at different zoom levels, I need to change my brush size nearly as often as I need to sample new clone sources. And this is another instance where I would normally have to break my concentration. But if I program an express key as a modifier, I can just hold it down, drag my brush, and resize it on the fly. And here in my brush dynamics, I can further refine the stroke, setting the size, angle, roundness, opacity, and flow to pen pressure. Now my brush size is controlled by how much pressure I apply with the pen. The more pressure I apply, the broader the brush. Navigating your composition when working at high levels of detail is a critical part of the After Effects workflow. The express keys and touch ring can be programmed as shortcuts to help you navigate the viewer. By default, the first function of the touch ring is set to auto zoom, which is great for getting a close-up look at your work. I've also programmed an express key to pan around my composite. It's just like using the spacebar or hand tool, but I don't have to reach over to the keyboard or click away from where I was working. Rotoscoping with vector masks is another routine task best performed with a pen. With two of my express keys programmed as shortcuts, I can quickly switch between the selection tool, V, and the pen tool, G, to create and manipulate vector shapes. Repeatedly pressing the express key for the pen tool, I can quickly cycle through all of the functions, add vertex, delete vertex, and convert vertex. Earlier, I set my pen switch to function as the Alt or Option key for cloning, but now I benefit from that setting by using it to select all points on a mask. Motion graphics and compositing will almost always require animation, often frame-by-frame animation. For frame-by-frame animation, normally you would click on the next frame and previous frame button, or use the keyboard each time you need to advance or go back. I've added a frame-by-frame function right here in the touch ring. Clicking the center button of the touch ring toggles the touch ring to its second function that I've set for the keyboard shortcuts, page up or page down. I've also set the speed to slow, turning the touch ring into a frame stepping tool. A turn clockwise is set to go one frame forward, and a turn counterclockwise one frame in reverse. Speaking of animation, Wacom's radial menu is an excellent way to manage and filter the timeline. I've set up a submenu and named it Timeline. In the submenu, I've programmed the shortcuts for showing only the position, rotation, or scale properties of the layers. With an express key set to bring up the radial menu, I click on Timeline, then choose the timeline filter I want. The tools you use most are always right where you need them, at the tip of your pen, exactly where you're working and where you're looking. Setting up express keys for any application is fast and simple. Best of all, if your workflow calls for jumping from After Effects to Premiere to Photoshop and back to After Effects, all of your settings, the pen switches, express keys, the touch ring functions, and radial menus are application specific. Once they're set, the Wacom tablet and pen settings automatically change on the fly to the active application. If you need a quick reminder of the settings that you have created for each application, program one of your express keys to Show Settings. This brings up an on-screen display of all the settings for that application. Every artist will want to customize a Wacom Intuos 4 pen tablet or Cintiq interactive pen display to their own individual style and workflow. There's really no limit to what you can do. To find out more about Wacom products, please visit wacom.com.